My beloved child, listen closely now, because what I am about to reveal through my messenger, Archangel Michael, is not something to be taken lightly or pushed aside with the passing distractions of this world. For the time for truth has arrived, and the veil that once kept your vision clouded is now being pulled back by my divine hand. You have felt it, haven't you? That quiet but persistent unease, that inner disturbance that whispers from the shadows of your spirit when you are around certain people, even those you have long called family, those whose names are etched in your memory as sacred, whose smiles seem genuine, whose presence has always been tightly woven into your sense of belonging. Yet something inside you recoils without explanation. Something within you senses that what you see on the surface does not match what I see from the heavens above. This is not paranoia. This is not mere suspicion. This is divine discernment awakening inside you. The spiritual antenna I embedded in your soul beginning to receive clearer signals. Because I can no longer allow you to be entangled in energies that do not serve the light, especially when they wear the mask of love while carrying the intentions of manipulation, betrayal, or spiritual interference. Someone in your family, someone you've trusted with your heart and your memories, is not who they pretend to be, and while I do not say this to plant division or breed fear, I must bring this truth forward because your destiny depends on it, your emotional clarity depends on it, and your spiritual safety depends on it. The time for blind loyalty is over. The time for honoring titles more than truth has ended. I need you to understand that blood may connect you in the physical, but it is the spirit that binds what is truly divine. And where there is spiritual dissonance, where there is deceit, jealousy, hidden bitterness, or dark energy cloaked beneath a warm facade, I will not remain silent, because I have seen the nights you cried and did not understand why you felt unseen or unsafe in places that should have been your sanctuary. I have seen how their words confused you, how their actions didn't match their claimed intentions, how they smiled while planting seeds of doubt in others about you, how they encouraged your success with their lips while silently hoping for your delay. And I have watched you blame yourself for this unrest, thinking perhaps it was your imagination, thinking perhaps you're being too sensitive or too judgmental, when in reality, you are feeling my holy warnings echoing through your soul like thunder before the storm. There is someone close to you, maybe a sibling, a parent, a cousin, or someone who has taken on the role of family, whose energy is not aligned with my light, who has made choices, formed alliances, or allowed bitterness to turn their heart cold, and they have been operating under a false mask, not only to hide from you, but to access parts of your life they were never meant to influence. I know this hurts. I know this sounds impossible. I know the mere suggestion is enough to make your heart break open in disbelief. But I need you to lean not on your earthly emotions, and lean instead into my divine clarity, because I am not here to accuse. I am here to awaken. I am here to free you from the spiritual tethers that have kept your discernment dulled, your confidence shaken, and your spiritual authority hijacked by those who fear what you might become if you ever truly knew who is standing beside you with unclean hands and a secret heart. This person, this energy, this hidden interference has played a subtle game, perhaps not always with malicious intent, but with unresolved wounds, silent envy, or unconscious manipulation that has created energetic knots around your calling, slowing you down, pulling you into guilt cycles, confusing your inner compass. And now, Archangel Michael stands beside you, sword drawn, declaring it is time for divine severance. Not from love, not from grace, but from illusion. It is time to rise from the family narrative that tells you to stay silent, to ignore your intuition, to prioritize peace over truth. Because peace without truth is not peace. It is spiritual stagnation. And I did not bring you this far to have you bound by invisible chains of false loyalty. You are not betraying anyone by seeking truth. You are not being disrespectful by acknowledging your inner knowing. You are not the villain for questioning what feels off. In fact, It is your courage to question that will begin to realign your entire life. Do not look at the mask they wear, look at the energy they carry. Do they bring clarity or confusion? Do they uplift your spirit or subtly drain it? Do they encourage your growth? Or do they keep reminding you of who you used to be? These are not small signs, child. These are the fingerprints of energy that has attached itself too closely, too quietly. And now, with my divine protection, you're being given the sight to see what was always there, but cleverly hidden. You're not alone in this moment. You're not being asked to confront them with anger or to burn bridges from a place of wounded pride. You're being called into spiritual maturity, into divine perception, into holy realignment. Archangel Michael will reveal this person to you, not through fear, but through clarity. In the next few days, you will notice subtle signs becoming louder. Conversations will shift. True colors will slip through carefully maintained personas. And as this light shines, you will not need to force answers. They will come. I need you to stay grounded. Stay silent when needed. Observe without reacting. I am preparing your spirit to receive not only this truth, but the strength to act on it with wisdom. Because once you see, you cannot unsee. Once you know, you cannot return to spiritual sleep. This is the beginning of your freedom, and I promise you, what feels like a loss now will one day feel like liberation. Keep walking, and I will keep revealing. Keep listening, and I will keep guiding. And soon, what was hidden will stand no more, for I am the God who brings all things into the light. And you are my beloved, no longer blind, but awake. Now that your eyes have begun to adjust to the light I have poured into your spirit, you must understand, child, that this awakening is not meant to push you into paranoia, but to elevate you into discernment, into a realm where the spiritual truth beneath human behavior is no longer blurred by sentiment, nostalgia, or the illusion of connection that has long kept you tethered to people whose roles in your life were never meant to carry permanent access to your soul. I say this with the gentleness of a loving father and the precision of a divine surgeon. For when I pull back the curtain on what has been festering behind closed doors, I do so not to cause you pain, but to prevent greater harm, to protect the sacred garden of your destiny from being strangled by roots of manipulation disguised as love. You see, the one whose presence is being exposed is not just a passerby in your story. There's someone you once opened every room of your heart to, someone who knows the most vulnerable pages of your past, someone who witnessed your joy, your breakdowns, your rising, and your silent cries for validation. And that is what makes this so difficult, so conflicting, because your human heart still clings to the good moments, still wants to believe in the version of them you once saw, the version that felt safe, familiar, bonded to you by blood or shared memory. But I did not call you to confuse history with harmony. I did not anoint you to remain shackled by emotional debt to those who secretly resent your growth, who speak one way in your presence and another behind closed doors, who claim support while quietly weaving webs that slow you down, feeding off your energy while pretending to nourish it. Yes, I see them clearly, and now you will too, not through accusation, not through drama, but through undeniable patterns and moments of divine exposure that I myself will orchestrate. Pay attention, for their fruit will reveal their root. Pay attention to the contradictions in their speech, the tone that changes when others are around, the way they attempt to guilt you for setting boundaries, the subtle digs veiled as jokes, the passive-aggressive comments disguised as concern. This is not your imagination. It is confirmation. It is the whisper of my spirit telling you, this is the one. And while your heart may ache, while your soul may tremble at the thought of confronting this, I'm here to remind you that truth, though painful, is the only door to freedom, and I will walk with you every step of the way. You're not being cruel by acknowledging what is unhealthy. You're not being disloyal by protecting your peace. In fact, it is disloyal to me to pretend that love means tolerance of spiritual misalignment. You cannot carry your divine calling and everyone else's brokenness at the same time. Not when that brokenness has chosen to remain unhealed, unrepentant, and hidden behind a mask. And so, my child, this is your sacred invitation, not to cut ties and hatred, but to untangle yourself from the soul strings that have long been knotted by deception, guilt, and spiritual confusion. Archangel Michael now surrounds you with a circle of divine light, his sword raised not to harm flesh, but to sever the invisible tethers of energy-draining relationships. He has been watching this person for some time now, observing their intentions, their prayers, or lack thereof, the way they speak about you in secret, the silent alliances they've made with others who do not walk in light, and the energy they projected into your space when you weren't looking. Nothing is hidden from us, child. Nothing is beyond my awareness. And now, that awareness is being gifted to you. There will be moments ahead where you will want to deny what you see, to excuse their behavior, to write off your discernment as overthinking, but do not fall asleep again. Stay awake. I will begin to reveal even more now. Pay attention to your dreams, for I will speak there. Pay attention to the conversations you overhear, for nothing will be coincidence. Pay attention to how your body reacts when you are around them. Your body is wise, and the spirit within you will not lie. You may notice strange fatigue, sudden anxiety, a weight in your chest, or a fog in your thoughts when they enter the room. That is not stress, that is spiritual interference. I need you to trust yourself. More than that, I need you to trust me, because what I am unraveling now is not simply about them. It's about you. It's about removing everything that has been limiting you, distracting you, or tethering you to versions of yourself that no longer exist. You are evolving. You are rising. And not everyone has permission to come with you into this next chapter. Yes, I know what they meant to you, but I also know what they've withheld from you, what they've spoken into the universe behind your back, what they've done when they thought no one was watching. And now I'm asking you to watch, not with suspicion, but with clarity, not with anger, but with wisdom. Because once I show you the fullness of their heart, once the mask slips completely and the truth cannot be denied, you'll be faced with a holy choice: to continue pretending for the sake of peace, or to reclaim your power and walk in alignment with me. And if you choose the latter, I will bless you. I will shield you. I will fill the void left by their absence with something far greater: divine community, genuine support, spiritual upgrades, unexpected protection. I will restore to you everything that their hidden energy blocked. But first you must see, you must accept, you must release the false comfort of pretending everything is okay. Because, child, I did not send you here to play small, to dim your light, to remain in spiritual fog for the sake of someone else's ego. You are my anointed one, and the time has come to see clearly, even if it costs you the closeness of someone you once called family. What I remove, I replace. What I expose, I heal. What I sever, I sanctify. Stay near to me now. I'm not done revealing. Now that I have opened your eyes to the reality that not every familiar face carries familiar intentions, you must walk with even greater alertness, for the path from recognition to release is not a straight one. It is a sacred spiral that will test your spiritual endurance, your emotional resilience, and your willingness to choose divine alignment over emotional comfort. And I say again, not with anger, not with accusation, but with the weight of heavenly truth that someone close to you, someone who has stood at your side in photos and memories, someone whose laughter once blended with yours in moments you believed were pure, has been cloaking themselves in the language of love while harboring an energy that does not honor you, that does not protect your destiny, and that has been draining the light from your life drop by drop, moment by moment, under the camouflage of family. You must understand, beloved, that spiritual warfare rarely appears as overt confrontation. Instead, it whispers in the background, cloaked in affection, dressed in false concern, delivered in double-edged compliments and seemingly harmless questions meant to plant seeds of doubt, inferiority, guilt, or delay. This person has grown accustomed to your light, but has not truly celebrated it. They have stood in the glow of your spirit, but have tried, whether consciously or unconsciously, to dim it so that their own sense of control or importance would not feel threatened. I have seen how they speak kindly to your face and shift their narrative in your absence. I have seen how they subtly rewrite your story to others, how they redirect attention from your strength to your perceived flaws, how they use history to keep you from growing beyond the version of you that made them feel safe, comfortable, superior. They cannot handle who you are becoming, and so they cling to who you were. And I must speak plainly now. There are some who carry your bloodline, but do not carry your blessing. There are some whose last names match yours, but whose spirits are not aligned with the mission I have placed within you. Family is not just biology, it is alignment. It is spiritual resonance. And if someone's presence continually distorts your peace, manipulates your emotions, stirs confusion where there should be clarity, or binds you to guilt when you try to rise, then that presence is not walking in divine order, no matter what label the world gives them. And so, I'm peeling this back for you, not to stir hatred, but to activate protection. I am showing you this truth so you can fortify your spirit, so you can begin the gentle but firm process of emotional detachment, not out of bitterness, but out of reverence for the destiny I have carved out for you. Do not be surprised if, in the days ahead, this person begins to feel more distant, or if their tone begins to sharpen, or their behaviors become more transparent. Do not be alarmed if things once buried begin to rise to the surface. That is me. That is my hand stirring what was hidden, revealing what was once disguised by pretense. I will not allow your purpose to be compromised by unseen sabotage. I will not allow your inner sanctuary to be infiltrated by those who do not carry my spirit. I place my mark on you. You are my chosen vessel. And because of this, I must sometimes pull you from familiar hands so that I can place you in a holy one's. I know what you're feeling now. That internal conflict, the ache of release, the fear of confrontation, the longing for reconciliation that may never come. But let me comfort you now with this. Letting go of what is false makes room for what is divine. When you release someone whose energy no longer honors your journey, you are not abandoning them. You are simply honoring yourself. And more importantly, you are honoring me. Because I will not bless what you are unwilling to confront. I will not elevate what you allow to contaminate your inner temple. You must choose. And yes, the grief may come. It may hit you in waves. You may question your discernment. You may want to turn back. But trust me, truth always costs something in the beginning, and it always saves you far more in the end. The lies you were told, the guilt you were handed, the silent burdens you've carried for the sake of keeping peace, I am lifting them now. I'm cleansing the atmosphere around you. I am bringing clarity to your mind, conviction to your spirit, and courage to your voice. You will not walk blind anymore. You will not tolerate toxic loyalty anymore. I am clearing the fog. And even if they never admit the truth, even if they continue to wear their mask for others, I will show you exactly who they are in private. I will whisper to you when their words are false. I will nudge your heart when their energy shifts. And you will know, not by physical evidence alone, but by the unwavering sense of my spirit rising within you, saying, this is not love. This is control. This is not family. This is bondage. And you will obey, not because you want to lose them, but because you're no longer willing to lose yourself. So let me say this again clearly, loudly, lovingly. You are not imagining this. You are not being dramatic. You are not being disrespectful. You are being awakened. You are being protected. You are being set apart. And soon, my child, you will look back on this moment not with regret, but with reverence. For this is when everything began to change, when you stopped shrinking to keep others comfortable, when you stopped tolerating spiritual inconsistency in the name of loyalty, when you chose me over the familiar, when you stepped out of the fog and into the light of divine reality. And I tell you now, there is more to be revealed. I'm not finished uncovering what you need to see. Remain close to me. Stay grounded. Watch what unfolds next. Because what you thought was the whole truth was only the surface. And now, we are going deeper. And now, beloved, the final veil must fall, for what has been brewing in the unseen is about to emerge in ways that cannot be denied, delayed, or disguised any longer. And I, the Lord your God, who formed you in the secret place and placed my divine breath into your lungs, am not revealing this to destroy what you thought was stable, but to cleanse what has become corrupted, to rescue you from agreements, spoken and unspoken, that were never written in my heavenly scrolls, and to separate the true from the false, the light from the shadows that have masqueraded as love within your own bloodline. You may think that because they are close, because they share your lineage, your upbringing, your holidays, or even your childhood stories, that their loyalty should be assumed, their intentions trusted, their presence embraced without question. But I say again, not all who are close are clean, not all who are around you are truly with you, and not all who call you family are sent to build you. Some have remained in your orbit only because they found comfort in your light while plotting silently to suppress it, and though they may never openly confess their true feelings, their energy has already betrayed them. I see the words they never say, the envy they never admit, the subtle gestures of sabotage that you've long tried to rationalize or excuse as human error. But child, I am here now to affirm what your spirit has been whispering beneath your thoughts. There is someone among your own whom you have trusted with parts of your heart that I never told you to give away. They have become a gate where my spirit once stood, a filter through which you have interpreted your worth, your voice, your direction. And as painful as it is, this has been the block. This has been the silent lid on your blessings, the unspoken reason certain prayers have felt delayed, why peace seems to crumble the moment you come into proximity with them. They are not who they appear to be. Their actions, though often subtle, are seated with an agenda that does not align with your elevation. They've played both sides, praised you in public while rolling their eyes in private, celebrated you on the surface while speaking word curses over your calling in the silence of their heart. And yes, that's real. Words unspoken can still become spiritual contracts, and their inner resentment has acted like a dam in the spiritual realm, restricting the flow of joy, clarity, and growth that I've been trying to send you. You've wondered why certain things don't move forward, why peace feels momentary, why old insecurities creep in when you're around them. It's because this person has learned to camouflage their true energy, to mirror your values without embodying them, to mimic love while operating from fear, pride, or jealousy. But I will not let this go unchecked any longer. Archangel Michael, with his sword of flaming truth, has been dispatched to sever this toxic tie once and for all, not by removing your love, but by removing your illusion. He stands by you now, cutting cords not of affection, but of control, of manipulation, of false obligation. You will feel it as a shift, a sudden clarity, perhaps even a confrontation that seems to come out of nowhere. But trust it. I'm orchestrating the exposure. I am loosening what was hidden. I am allowing what was veiled to speak plainly. And even if it shakes you, even if the confrontation feels like a storm, do not fear. It is not a storm of destruction, but of purification. I am refining your circle. I am elevating your discernment. I am training your heart to stop calling spiritual warfare family tension. Because the moment you accept the truth, everything else will begin to align. Your confidence will return. Your inner peace will root itself like never before. Your voice will no longer tremble. Your prayers will feel unblocked. Your dreams will become clearer. Your direction will accelerate. And your blessings, yes, those blessings that have felt just out of reach, will begin to flood your life because they were never denied, only delayed by spiritual interference I am now clearing away. But I must warn you, After the unveiling, there may be silence. This person may ghost you, gaslight you, or attempt to reverse the truth by painting you as the problem. Do not engage the drama. Do not retaliate. Do not explain yourself to those who refuse to see the truth. Your job is not to convince. Your job is to obey. I will handle the justice. I will speak to their heart in ways you cannot. I will protect your name in rooms you do not even enter. But I need you to trust me enough to detach. Because freedom is not about hatred, it's about clarity. And I am restoring your clarity now. You will see, you will know, and you will be free. And oh, my child, once you pass through this valley of revelation, what awaits you on the other side is greater than anything you've experienced before. I have prepared new alignments, new family and spirit, divine connections that are not built on blood, but on covenant, souls who will love you for who you are, not who they want you to remain. I will surround you with encouragers, with warriors of light, with divine protectors in both the physical and spiritual realm. This is not an end. It is a beginning. The pruning may feel brutal, but it is birthing a season of abundance you could not enter while still tethered to those who secretly hoped you'd stay small. Now you're free. Now you are protected. Now you are seen. And for staying with me through the discomfort, for not turning away when the truth hurt, for enduring the pain of awakening without shutting down, I have reserved something special for you, something miraculous. Before this week ends, you will receive a sign, a confirmation so undeniable, so specific, so personal to your story that you will know it came from me alone. It may come in a dream, a phone call, a message, or a sudden breakthrough. But when it comes, remember this moment. Remember that obedience unlocks favor. Remember that truth protects peace. And remember that I, your God, will never expose what I do not intend to heal, never take away what I will not replace, never lead you into clarity without also leading you in a blessing. You're safe now. You are rising now, and no one, not even someone within your family, can stop what I am about to release over your life. So take a breath, lift your head, and prepare your spirit. Your deliverance has already begun.